Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask you about Mo. Just coming off a great Saturday and getting the award. Just your thoughts on just how he's really acclimated to the program in getting into the month of January and the rest of the season.
He's been fantastic from day one. He loves being in the gym, literally in the gym more than I'd wager as much as anyone in the country. He's in the gym all the time. He works hard on his game, and it's so great to see him get the results that he's getting, and very deserved. He spent the time, and there's no shortcut to doing something really well, and he shoots the ball really well, and he does that because of all the time he's invested. So easy to cheer for Mo. He's a great teammate and no maintenance in any way. So couldn't be more pleased for him.
You're looking at a young man that has a lot of college basketball experience behind him, going into a big game in his hometown on Wednesday night. Is that going to be any kind of distraction at all, or is it just the maturity play in, and he knows to treat it just like another game?
There's always a little extra excitement when you go back near home, but he's handled everything really well. Like you say, his experience I think will help him do what he does every day. He's not going to go in there thinking he's got to do something differently. He's got to do what he does, and I know he's excited about that.
Thanks, Lon. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Next, let's go to Bob Prisbillo.
Lon, sticking with Mo here, can it be tough in his type of position when at the school he used to be at, he's usually the focal point, and then to make that transition and to be comfortable coming off the bench in a much different role?
It could be. It hasn't been for Moj. He's had the ideal attitude, if you will, in every way. I mean, he's never once worried about anything. He just goes about his business every day, and he loves playing. He loves getting on the floor, and again, early in the year, it took a little while to get his feet grounded, but just kept getting better and better, and kept working at it, and doing a great job. Yeah.
Was that ever a conversation you had to have with him about coming off the bench or anything like that?
Not anything out of the norm. His attitude from day one is, hey, coach, whatever. It doesn't matter to me at all. I'm just excited about being playing. I'm excited about being at OU, and tell me what we need to get done, and we'll do it. And that's his attitude, and everyone appreciates that. And again, he's a great teammate, and plays with the same emotion and passion every day.
Next, let's go to Josh Callaway.
Yeah, Lon, a stat we got from Ben just a short while ago was that Oklahoma is the only team in the country to have three different guys score at least 29 in a game. What does that say just about your team? More than just you have good depth, but that you have many different guys who can, pretty much just take over a game for you.
It's great. Anytime you've got that depth, if you will, in terms of being able to score, it's puts more pressure on the defense. But it's great, and we've got a lot of different guys that can score in a lot of different ways, and I think our depth and our versatility will continue to serve us well going forward, and need to get everyone hitting on the same cylinders in the same night. But they'll keep making progress. They'll keep working at it, and have a great attitude about getting better.
Let's go to Jacob Unruh next.
Hey, Lon, back to Mo for a quick second. You mentioned all his work ethic in the gym and stuff like that. Were you aware of that when you first started, recruiting him?
When he announced he was transferring, we talked first of all to Coach McCasland, and everything we know now to be about Moj is exactly what Coach McCasland said. He said you'll love him. He's a great teammate. He's a gym rat. Just spends hours in the gym, and that's exactly the way he's been. And so we didn't know it about him until Coach McCasland said that in our first conversation, but we found that to be exactly right.
On a different topic, the NCAA today announced that the tournament's going to be all in Indiana, all around the Indianapolis area. What were your thoughts on that? And I mean, to me, it seems like a good way to make sure the tournament's going to happen, or at least try to make sure the tournament's going to happen.
That's the priority, to make sure there's a tournament. So whatever we can do, as an organization to give that the best chance of happening, and if it's to create a bubble, if you will, in that Indianapolis area, then so be it. We're not, heck, this is a one-off year for sure. So whatever we need to do and keep adjusting and keep stay flexible with it and do whatever we need to do.
And I know we've talked in the past about the road games for you guys. Have you maybe learned from what the football team did or anything like that on trying to make sure road games are safe?
Well, administratively, we've talked a lot, and about different teams. But I mean, it's not a normal road trip. It's not a normal road experience. You treat the hotels differently. You treat the restaurants differently. The way you take meals, all that's different this year. But again, that's part of the year that we're in, and no problem there. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Awesome. Thanks, Lon.
You bet.
Next, we'll head to Joe Bettner.
Hey, Lon, just with having Baylor, Kansas back-to-back this week, those two being, two of the top 10 teams in the country, I'm curious as a coach, does it just make it easier on you with just knowing that these guys are probably going to be motivated for those games? And, you talked a little bit about distractions earlier. Is it anything you have to do as far as managing, I guess, that excitement when you go into big games like this on the road?
Well, in Big 12, it's pretty much like that every year. Not always do you get 3 top 10 teams back to back to back, but still, guys, it's pretty easy that they're excited to play. That's not a concern that they're motivated. They know how tough the league is, and they know how every night's going to be in the Big 12, and they know if you don't bring it, then it's probably not going to end up well. So but every team's like that. Every team's got those challenges in the Big 12, and we're in the middle of one of those stretches.
And Lon, if you don't mind me asking a lot, just specifically about Elijah Harkless. Obviously, I think it probably drew a lot of the attention from fans when he picked number 24, Buddy Hield's old number. And I know that Jamal Bienemy also wore that. I'm just curious. I know you guys don't retire numbers, as Ben has adamantly told me, but do you ever have any conversations with those guys just about the significance of that number, what they're representing, I guess, when they pick out their jersey number? Am I looking too much into this?
I don't know the motivation of EJ picking that number. I know he's a knowledgeable basketball fan, so he knows that Buddy wore it, and not that we talked to him about upholding the standards that Buddy had when he wore it, but no, EJ's he's going to keep getting better and better. He's going to get more and more comfortable. He's going to become eligible there, middle of December, so still getting his feet wet a little bit, but excited about the progress he's going to make in the next couple months.
Thanks, Lon.
You bet.
We have time for one more question, and for that, we'll head back to Eric Bailey.
Hey, Lon, you said something interesting about Mo. When he was looking to transfer, you said you talked to Coach McCaslin. How common is that for a head coach to talk to a coach's a former school? Because it just seems just different just because he's leaving that school and looking for another school, just to find out about a player.
Well, that's always our first call. We'll never talk to a player or a player rep before we call the coach. I don't know if that's normal or not, but that's the way we've done it in all of our years. But again, today with the portal and with it all, it's not like the coach was surprised, but even if someone reaches out to us about, maybe a kid transferring, we'll always call the coach and number one, make sure he's aware. And number two, then, if you are and you're supportive of it, then we'll proceed, with what we know. But and again, if coach says no, I don't want him to transfer, then we'll cut it off right there. And again, that's not the case anymore. But in years past, the coach could be opposed to the kid transferring, and if that ever was the case, then we'd respect that and discontinue any conversations.